Hey, well, first of all, a very, very, very productive day for a number of reasons. First of all, 68,542 in attendance. Thank you, Vol Nation. And every time we ask you to do something, you respond. And what a great, great day, great environment, great illustration to our players of what they represent on a daily basis, and also the excellence that is needed that needs to come from that. Our former players, our Vol for Lifes, great, great turnout. They mean everything to us. Another great illustration to our players about the proud tradition that we have here at Tennessee. When I talk about a productive day, great in terms of putting everyone's football identity on film. And we tried to do a lot of things to change it up in terms of individual competitions and see who would respond, who would want to be kind of in the limelight a little bit, and see how they would respond with almost 70,000 people in the stands. Everything in our football program is based on the core value of competition, competing for greatness. So again, we have great evaluation tools, explosive plays offensively. I think we have really improved our throw game, but on the flip side of it, unacceptable defensively. We're very, very thin there. We'll welcome 18 new additions in June. And I believe off the top of my head, 16 of them are on the defensive side of the ball. So we have to get them ready to play. We need to learn from our mistakes and correct them going into August camp. The biggest thing I was most disappointed with that we need to take tremendous strides is our tackling. And we have spent an inordinate amount of time this spring in terms of tackling. And on the positive side of it, we were in good position to make the tackles. Everything is about body position. We just didn't make them. And so we'll go back. We'll break all the missed tackles down, and we'll meet with our players on Monday, and we'll get those issues corrected. But overall, very, very productive spring, very challenging spring. And again, thank you to our great fan base and to our letter winners, our former players, for coming out, and everyone involved. They had the field ready to go in great shape. It was just a great, great day for Tennessee football.
Obviously seemed to have a big
Dang, you wanted to get that first question in.
Has he been doing that most of the spring, or is this kind of something new that you guys saw?
With Josh. Josh has had a productive spring, but I thought he really stepped it up today, even in the quarterback challenge. You're talking about Josh? Josh Malone, okay. Yeah, Josh has been pretty much doing that all spring. And he's kind of went through the maturation process of a wide receiver the last 3 or 4 practices with the sore legs, the sore hamstrings, and I think the grind academically. But Josh is a competitive young man and very, very talented, and you can see he adds a whole other dynamic to our offense. And that's, I said it in the offseason, we have to be able to throw a 5-yard pass and turn it into a 20-yard gain. That was missing from our offense last year, and we've really helped ourselves in recruiting. Still not there yet, but Josh has been an individual that right from practice one, he can be as good as he wants to be.
Coach, on Dobbs, it was just one day, but what can that do as far as helping get him in the thick of this race?
Well, it helps. And I thought he managed the offense. He made some plays with his legs, even the quarterback challenge. Josh is very calm. He has a calm demeanor about himself, very cerebral, which we all know. But I thought he took some steps forward. It was great to see today.
Butch, you talk about the 18 guys coming in the fall and all the defensive players. Where do you feel like on the defensive side of the ball you do need those guys to step up? Where do you feel like you need to help them most?
Well, it's everywhere, and it starts up front. In the defensive line, that's no secret. Everyone in our football program knows that. These individuals have to be ready to go. Is it a great challenge to get a 17, 18-year-old ready to play in the SEC at that position? Absolutely. But that's where we're at in our program. It's a tremendous opportunity. And I thought we had some older players really step up this spring. Jordan Williams, we've asked a lot of him, moving him inside. I think he continues to get better. Owen Williams is learning that football rewards those that are in great condition, both mentally and physically. He's going to be fine. Corey Vereen was our most improved defensive player. Kurt Magid. So we have some players. It's just an overall depth. The thing I was kind of disappointed with in the spring game today was the drop-off from 1s to 2s. And we need to generate 3-and-outs defensively, and we didn't generate very many 3-and-outs today.
Have Have you kept in contact with a lot of those signees, telling them how valuable it is that they get here in June and that they're ready
Yes.
and in shape and all?
Yes, if they don't understand that message, then they're not listening. They hear it all the time, not only from me, but our players. They've come around to a lot of practices. Most of them were at the spring game today, and they understand, and I know they're looking forward to it.
What you talked about your passing game, it was perceptibly, the quarterbacks their reads were quicker, and they were delivering the ball with a crispness and precision that was just, it was an upgrade from last year.
No question. And, it starts with the running backs, the receivers, and the tight ends. Their job is to paint pictures for the quarterback. And a lot of time, with the naked eye, you always want to look at the quarterbacks, but it starts with them. It's all about painting the picture and the body language that, a lot of people may not understand. How you stick a route tells the quarterback, that's all I got, throw the ball inside. And they've done a great job. I thought we protected pretty well today. And then again, being able to throw the football and make people miss in space, that's what our offense is all about. And they've done a great job. Nowhere where we need to be. We still need depth. But it's going to be a great competitive environment for this offseason in the summer months leading into camp. But night and day where we're at, I thought our quarterbacks were aggressive. They were decisive, and they were confident in what they were seeing. And that was great to see today.
In general, where does that quarterback competition stand, and what kind of timetable?
Ongoing. No timetable. We have to take tremendous strides. We turn the football over from the quarterback position today. You can't do that and play winning football. So I'm very encouraged by where that position is. In our program, we use a term called power the position, and everyone's responsible for being the best position on the football team within the team concept. But I'm encouraged by what I've seen, but we still have a long way to go.
What's your reference feeling like leaving spring with a different dynamic to your offense? Can you contrast those feelings as you leave spring right now versus a year ago when you left spring from that standpoint?
Well, I left here a year ago at this time, obviously very concerned about our throw game and big splash plays, and that kind of showed itself this past season. That's in the past. I'm very encouraged by what I see, but we have a long way to go. I'm very concerned, which we'll get it corrected up front defensively in our tackling in the back end. And the thing that I've seen it in practice is we have been a good tackling defensive football team throughout the course of spring. You guys have seen a lot of the tackling drills in practice, and we have done a great job with it. Again, it's one or two technical errors that we have to go back. I have to check our eyes defensively, see how many eye violations that we had in playing it. We had a missed coverage on the one long pass to Marquez down the sideline. So those are all correctable errors. But again, the communication on the defensive side of the ball, the swarming to the football has to continue to get better throughout the summer months.
When you say the quarterback race is ongoing, do you mean with all four guys?
Yes. Yep.
Butch, can you talk about your run game, what you saw out of Jalen today and Marlon, and
Yeah.
kind of what you feel about that position, going into the summer months?
Jalen continues to progress. I thought he had some hard-earned yards today. I thought he dropped his pad level. But again, him understanding, too, that football rewards those who are in great shape. And our running backs have to be able to carry the ball 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times in a row. Can you have a 30-yard gain, be the first up with the first up mentality, and then have another 30-yard gain? And I thought there was a couple of times he didn't pick his heels up and he went down, on a shoe tackle. And in this conference, you can't have that. But Jalen's going to be a special player for us. Marlon Lane was a model of consistency. I thought Marlon really improved his overall burst and acceleration through the hole. And I thought we did a much better job in our pass protection game as well.
Coach, Jalen Reese-Maven was around the ball a lot today. I know he obviously got the best of Hurd in the one-on-one drill. How was the spring overall for him, and what did you see from him today?
Jalen's going through the developmental process of going from safety to linebacker, and trusting your eyes. See a little, see a lot in terms of playing Will backer for us. And he's continually improved each and every day, and we're going to need him. And him and A.J. are really developing a chemistry there from the mic to the Will and the communication. And he continues to get better and better with reps. Now, this offseason in the summer is going to be critical for him. He's going to have to put on 10 pounds. He's going to have to show the durability playing inside the box. But he's very, very competitive. He understands what he needs to work on. He adds another part of athleticism and speed to our defense.
Which it looked like AJ maybe didn't play that much. You guys kind of hold him out, limited him a little bit?
Yeah, AJ's fine. You know, we've seen AJ play enough football around here. Obviously, he needs to continue to progress and get better. But I wanted to see who our backup linebackers would be. You know, would they show on video? So when we welcome, you know, more true freshman linebackers, the individuals that were here in the spring, we know exactly where they're at. So we wanted to get some valuable reps in game live situations.
You expect your defense to look much different with him and with Ryan Randolph back at safety too?
I do. You know, from a depth standpoint, again, we have to become a much better tackling football team in a hurry. But I think our defense will be completely different just from a competitive standpoint in August.
Can you assess Riley's performance today? Sacked 3 times in the first half. What's that a credit to or from?
Well, a lot goes into sacks. You know, sometimes it's a wide receiver not winning his one-on-one, getting open. It may be, obviously, somebody losing their one-on-one matchup up front. I thought Riley did some good things, but he's going through the maturation phase of, you know, the one interception at the end of the game. He's got the flat route wide open, and he tries to get a bigger yardage gain on the out. And as a quarterback, you never pass up a completion for a better completion. And that's a process that young quarterbacks go through. The other one, when he fumbled the ball, he was hit from the backside. Again, it's the guy you never see that causes the fumble. So those are all things that we can correct with Riley.
Is there chemistry between Dobbs and Malone? Seemed like they were on the same page a lot today. Has that been consistent all spring?
It's been consistent all spring, and I think it's been across the board really with all the quarterbacks. You know, we work so much with routes on air and understanding, again, how they paint the pictures for the quarterback and all their body language and how they nonverbal communicate with our quarterback. So I thought that we've been on the same page pretty much most of the spring.
What you talk about body language a lot, did you see from that standpoint what you needed to out of the 14 newcomers today?
I did. I think anytime you can get in front of almost 70,000 and play, it is absolutely invaluable. In which individuals can handle the clutter, the distractions, and be able to focus. Also, snap and clear mentality. Hey, if you make a mistake, let it go. Play the next snap. So much is that psychological toughness that we talk about, the mental conditioning. The mind is very, very important. And a lot of times, young players really struggle with that aspect of the game, is that snap and clear mentality, move on, play the next snap, but also having a mental checkpoint, a checklist in your mind of down and distance, splits, technique, all that, and everything is happening very fast. So it always comes with maturation, and we don't have that right now, so they have to learn in a hurry.
Did you come out pretty clean injury-wise?
We did. Jacob Gilliam was able to return, so that was great. Owen Williams was able to return. And as a coach, you know, we had a different approach for the spring game this year. A lot of times going into a spring game, a coach's mentality is you want to get the game over with. You know, you don't want to have any injuries moving forward. That's always in the back of our minds. But this was an evaluation tool. This was invaluable for our young football team. So we wanted to play as much football as possible. And it is great to see that we didn't have any injuries that will linger throughout the summer months as of right now.
Coach, how'd you do with the pace on offense that you want, you're looking for?
You know, I thought our pace was much better. There's still times on an incomplete pass. That's not a license to walk back to the line of scrimmage. So we'll continue to work on that. But I thought our overall pace has really improved on a consistent basis throughout the entire course of spring. It's getting our defense lined up fast. You know, that's the other thing. You look at now kind of the flavor of the SEC and really college football, the landscape of college football, you know, it's turning into a no-huddle game. And so we have to learn how to get lined up and also learn how to celebrate when we have a tackle for loss, how you celebrate as a defense, get the signal, and get lined up fast again.
Which obviously wasn't a great day overall for the defense, but were there a couple guys at all who stood out to you on that side of the ball who made some big plays? Or?
Yeah, you know, we just spoke about Jalen Reeves-Maben. I thought he had some consistency in his performance. I thought AJ did some good things when he was in there. I thought Kurt Magid did some very good things as well. Emmanuel Mosley, he's going to be a good player. He's just learning right now. You know, he was a high school quarterback, so every rep that he gains, again, is extremely valuable in his overall development. But I'll have to watch more of the film, and I'll know a little bit more later tonight.
Jakob Johnson, you like what you're getting out of him from the end position as well as what he
I do. We'll keep Jakob Johnson at the defensive end position. You know, he's going through that phase of learning the game of football and learning the little nuances. But when you look at his ability, he's extremely explosive. He's going to do nothing but continue to develop his body and get bigger and bigger and bigger, and he's a sponge. He wants to do well. And when you have an individual who has an inner drive to be the best that they can be, you can accomplish anything you put your mind to it, and that's Jakob Johnson.
Coach, what's your upcoming calendar now moving forward and the general message to your guys?
Well, in moving forward, we start the next phase of our program. That's the new season, and that's our summer strength and conditioning program. This is where I really believe teams are born in the summer months with your leadership. It becomes a player-led football team. However, you know, there is a different dynamic this year in the landscape of college football relative to the new rule in terms of 2 hours a day, or a week rather, that you're able to spend with your players in a classroom setting, but it's deducted from the weight room. So that'll be a little different dynamic. But, you know, this next phase is critical. We'll come back as a football team Monday with a team meeting, review the game, and then our coaches will hit the road recruiting for spring, and then it becomes pretty much a player-led football team for a couple weeks, and then they'll have a couple weeks off with finals and then go home, and then we start our summer program. And this has to be the best summer program we have ever had as a coaching staff together. And Dave Lawson and Mike Sershin and our entire strength staff will do a great job, but we have to get a lot of youngsters ready to compete to play winning football come August.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.